Alright folks, hello and welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I am your host Josh, and this is part 29 of our Let's Play of Head as Code. When we last left off, we had a whole thing. We'd gotten back to that place that we started at the very beginning of the story, and we basically found out, presumably, that basically everyone here is a robot. Marco also belongs to a group called the Empty S, which I can't decide if I think that that is really dumb or genius. I'm waffling between it. That was also, as I was thinking about that, the Empty S, and those the letter S, which the two S's that are big S's in this game so far have been us, Simon, and then Smiley. So I was kind of thinking about that as having some connection there, but I don't really know what exactly is going on there. Anywho, we are going to head back to this point when we decide whether or not to share our secret paper with Jasmine. I'm pretty sure this is going to lead just directly into a bad end, but, you know, we got to see what's here. Alright, so this time, let's hurry to catch the train. Let's see what happens if we do this. Gave the twin a quick wave before moving on just as quickly. Had to be fast to catch the train before it left. I managed to do it in extremis, and as soon as I stepped in, the chime rang and the doors closed behind me. I panted and dropped into a seat, closing my eyes and waiting. Okay, so that changes very little, presumably. We still end up seeing that. We still show the video to A. Alright, so now we have to decide whether or not we trust Jasmine. I believe he should keep the paper a secret. Didn't feel right sharing the information with Jasmine for reasons beyond my understanding. Somewhere in my head, something told me that was wrong, and so I followed that advice. Besides, that information might only serve to drive a wedge between us, especially with what we'd seen from the video. All of it pointed to the fact evidence was being planted to make us doubt each other. Instead of telling her about it, I pointed at the staircase. Let's wait for the others to come back then. Jasmine nodded at me. Our minds set, we both made our way to the staircase. However, something bothered me still. I knew I could trust Jasmine, so why did I decide to not share the information with her? It made sense with a bit of thinking, but I hadn't taken the time to think long and hard about it. I almost instantly chose not to trust her. I sat down against one of the metallic walls. It was cold. She stood by me, arms behind her back against the wall. She too was waiting in silence. Did I have any reason not to trust Jasmine? I mean, I could give you 10, Simon. Of all the people here, she was the one I knew I could rely on the most. Where is this feeling coming from? I shook my head. Yeah, so I think we could say without a doubt that there's some kind of sharing of memories in some way from one time to the other. I mean, we've seen it happen a number of times at this point. It's one of the things that pokes a little bit of a hole into my theory, though, of this being cycles happening over and over again with robots or clones all in one existing timeline. Because that could happen, but it means there is a chronological first run-through, second run-through, third run-through, right? Which is possible, but it means that, like, in order for us to have this feeling, presumably it means that the time that we find out Jasmine isn't Jasmine happened before this. Maybe it wasn't coming from anywhere in particular. I was probably just stressed. I tried to change my mind, thinking about what the others were doing, but ultimately it only made the wait seem even more unbearable. Finally, the train arrived on our side. Oh, Em and Ray are... But I was wrong. I didn't know why I thought Em and Ray specifically would be dropping by next. It wasn't them, anyway. It was just A.
Is everything alright? Em and Ray haven't come back yet.
He walked out of the train, looking rather surprised. Something didn't feel right with the old man's demeanor. And where was E? The train drove off before the girl stepped outside. In fact, she hadn't been in the train at all. We haven't seen them yet. Where's the girl?
Girl? Strange. I saw them earlier on the way past, leaving their room. They seem to have been done with its exploration. I stopped at another one on the way here. I wonder why they're not back yet. Perhaps they're hiding something.
And where's E? I asked again, this time a little more forceful. Jasmine looked at the both of us, uncertain of how to proceed. Is she still at the other station you explored?
Yes, to put it plainly. I suppose I can tell you everything I've seen, too. First, I stopped at the security station on the way back after I saw Em and Ray unlock the door because I was curious. My train went back around and reached them, but they didn't come back. I did not see a train pass by afterwards. I waited for it to come back around yet again and took it to try and reach them. However, I did not find them anywhere, and a few stations at the back are locked. I presume they have chosen to continue without us.
That's not good. We should go check for ourselves, I think.
If you wish, then go ahead. I'd like to go too. Perhaps we could all go together. I'm also curious about what they found in the science laboratory.
Oh, I bet you are.
Maybe something there tipped them off.
Yeah, they are the ones who find the secret room. Maybe that explains why a lot of times in this timeline they don't end up coming back. Like what?
Oh, I don't know. Definitely don't have any information. This is only a wild guess of mine.
I looked at Jasmine, and she did the same towards me. I didn't detect any doubt from her, so I led our little trek back to the other side of the station. Say, why didn't you explore it on your own? The science lab.
Whatever do you mean?
You came from that direction, right? If they truly finished and were done with the place, you could have scouted it out.
Ah, that's true. I didn't think about that. In my hurry, I suppose I was merely looking for companionship to go witness what they found as a team.
Somehow, that didn't reassure me. I passed up on further commenting on it while we made our way back down the stairs, this time on the other side. A is... The thing that I appreciate about A is that A is constantly playing at 100% here. He's risking everything all the time. He's at a knife's edge between blowing his entire cover. I enjoy that. I glanced at Jasmine as if trying to tell her that we should stay alert. Something about the old man was a little off. His story didn't match up because there would be no issue reaching that station on his own. While we waited for the train, I could talk to either of them. Asking Jasmine might yield another point of view on his actions, but if I spoke to him directly, I may better understand what he did. This time let's talk to Jasmine. Hey, Jay. Don't you think he's been acting weird? I made sure to chat with her while the old man was distracted and wouldn't hear us. I even hushed my tone, which she returned in kind. When you think about it, it's a lot safer if you go with 3 people. That way, no one would mistakenly enter a station and kill everyone. What do you mean? Well, we can't be more than a duo at a station. If you have 3 people, one of them can stay outside and alert them if someone's coming, or let the newcomers know about the fact people are already up there. That way, nobody loses their head over it. You know, I really hate it when you make sense. But I still think something's strange. She shrugged. By the time our conversation was over, the train had arrived. The 3 of us watched as the train stopped at our station.
Let us go.
We entered. As usual, the train did its chime before leaving the deck. We took some time getting to the lab, all of which was done in the utmost silence. Wonderful. Couldn't have a talk with Jasmine without A hearing us, and I couldn't confront A without getting Jasmine on my back either. Finally, we disembarked.
I propose I head up with S first, and then J can come up after we finish. You know, after I make the first shot at S, then J, you can come up and you can get shot. Is that fine by you two? That way I can explain what I'm thinking Em and Ray are doing.
Are they doing something wrong?
I guess it depends on what they found up there. Figuring this part out may be crucial to the events transpiring here.
It wasn't like we had a lot of choices. It was true, I could head up there with Jasmine and give him the slip by coming back down to the other side, but if we did so, he could follow us anyway. Okay, I'm fine with it if you both are. Come back soon, though. I'll stand guard just in case anybody else passes by. She crossed her arms and leaned against the wall while A and I entered the lobby. The man waited until after we were up the stairs to speak his mind. Truth be told, I was kind of curious about what he figured out, too. He said it would depend on what we saw here?
I believe our comrades are trying to find something to open this door at the back here. To be entirely frank with you, I have explored this station before coming back. Apologies for my tiny lie.
He motioned towards the large door that looked quite solid. By the same occasion, he reached for his bag. Somehow, this looked dangerous. What if he pulled out a... Oh, it was only a key. Nothing to worry about. Even... I like... what I do like about this is I like that by this point we have to know that A is what A is. And so I like them playing with our expectation that he's going to turn at any moment on us. He even handed it to me, showing the intricate shape on the same occasion. It looked like a key with an ornate handle, with the number 8 carved in metal onto it. Okay, so this is the thing that Jasmine Hannah had when she revealed that she was when she was Hannah. You think that key opens this door? Fat chance. It doesn't have a handle or anything. It's almost just like a wall with a window.
No, I don't think this key opens that door. I think it's for something else. I had thought you may have found something for this. I suppose I was mistaken. I also wanted to bring you up there because I sensed you didn't trust me. Or rather, you didn't trust any of us, both between your friend Jay and me.
Well, my choices do reflect that.
Don't worry. I'm not here to judge you, but to ask you one simple question. Have you had the feeling in here that some of your actions did not make sense? Perhaps you've had a choice to make, and somehow, after making it, you didn't feel like it was correct.
He was right. I felt that just earlier. Oh no. He's on to me. He's gonna realize that he's in a game. Thinking of it, in fact, every choice I'd made was strange. I chose to go with Ray over going with Marco. What's up with that? I chose to ignore the twins. My nature wasn't like that. I wouldn't abandon a quarter of all of us trapped here if I could help it. I chose to share information without gathering any evidence first. It was a blind jump, and I took it. Why did I do that? Why did I not explore the stations on my own for a while first? I chose to distrust Jasmine. Once again, a choice that seemed contrary to what I normally should have been thinking.
I'm asking because I have felt this a few times now.
Okay, so this is again adding up to my theory here. I'm not sure what exactly the force is that's causing them to make these different decisions, but I believe this all fits in with them doing this over and over again and seeing what happens when the different choices are made.
I am convinced that something is making me act differently than what I should be doing.
I've had that feeling too. Something isn't right.
Unfortunately, I cannot control it.
He gave me a difficult smile while reaching into his bag again. Uh-oh. I thought he was putting the key back in, but I also heard a little noise, like a metallic object falling to the ground. I looked down to see for myself what it was. He dropped the key.
Right now, I do not believe I can understand my thoughts. Something tells me, young man, that you must be removed.
He whipped out a gun from his bag. I stared with my eyes wide open as he aimed the barrel at me. Whoa, just right now? Okay, I mean, fair enough. One shot was all it took, and I was blasted to the ground.
Apologies. Truly, I apologize. I don't know what is coming over me, but I think this is my safest bet. I removed E, and now I must remove you.
I tried sitting up and managed to do it after all the efforts in the world. My right arm wasn't working anymore. It felt frozen. What are you...
Once again, sorry. I must do this, and I have no idea why.
I'm gonna use this every time I commit a crime from now on.
Just listen, there's some force driving me to do this. I don't know. I fear I may be a marionette in some fashion.
One final blow extinguished my vision and brought me down once and for all. The suddenness of the turn of events caught me completely off guard. There was nothing I could have done. What he said was really interesting. Yet only darkness answered that idea. Door bad end. Okay. Well, didn't get anything from that except some interesting information at the end there. Alright, endless circle. We get it. Let's go on our fun ride here. Whee! Take a drink here, because doing A's voice sometimes kills me. Alright. We got time. Let's head back in here and go back to the previous choice here then. So right here, this is when... Right, so this is when we decide whether or not we're going to reveal stuff about the video, talk to people about it, or if we're going to investigate further ourselves. So let's jump in. Alright, so we watched the video with Jasmine. We head back. We see that the twins are alive, and we freak out about that. I believe it's best to collect more information. I felt like I was going on a crusade. Was it fair of me to doubt everyone else to the point where I'd want to search every nook and cranny of the rooms that they already investigated? All of this was sparked out of doubt. I trusted Jasmine and Marco out of everyone in here, but I didn't know if I could even trust those two right now. Perhaps Marco was still fine. As long as he still has his arm, we're all good. The room with the screens, however, showed me another side of Jasmine, and I wasn't sure I was okay with. It was too early to jump to conclusions, but I really thought Jasmine's screen-smashing rampage was far stranger than I originally believed. Did I have cause for doubting her other than that? Not really. Still, I didn't want to be had. I want to be smart. I wanted to be courageous. I wanted to solve this situation. What about Marco? Yeah, Marco was still fine. I was avoiding the main topic, the twins and Ray. Their meeting was impossible to begin with because they hadn't gone together. They had no contact, and in fact, all the way up to the unearthing of that video, as far as I knew. While I was lost in my thoughts, I saw the train arrive on the other side. Out of it came Marco and Ray. I decided to move to the side and watch what they were doing. I hid in the little dark alcove. I didn't want to spy on them, but Ray gave me cause for concern. The two of them were talking. It's good. I've been curious about this relationship on this bottom half of the timeline for a while now. I couldn't make out what they were saying from afar. Straining my ear, I caught some of their words once the train left the station completely. Wait to be up there. I need a drink. Yeah. Wow. These two are really evil masterminds. Couldn't hear them past that as they entered the little lobby. I stepped out of the little alcove, but Ray turned his head in my direction. Uh-oh, crap! He saw me. He walked up the stairs. Oh, no. Did he realize I was spying on them? But I hadn't heard anything of what he said. What if he was coming here to stop me from spilling the beans on something I hadn't heard? It seemed unfair. Could he be reasoned with? I realized then that this long wait between the time he disappeared upstairs and the fact he hadn't come down meant he wasn't hot on my trail. I was just being paranoid. I slapped my cheeks to wake myself up from that. Come on, Simon. Yet my blood ran cold when I heard some footsteps behind me. Oh. Ray emerged from the doorframe. I turned around to look at him. The fear I had on my face was clearly put on display. What are you so afraid of? Why did he ask me that? Didn't he know? It was obvious. I didn't hear anything, I swear. I don't know anything. What are you prattling on about now, you dumb youth? I blinked once. No, I need to blink twice to take those words in and understand what he said. What? Didn't he come to punch me? When you left the train, you were talking, and I swear I didn't hear anything. Wait, is that what you're afraid of? That I'm going to hit you for that? God damn, you're the stupidest kid I've ever seen. Couldn't make heads or tails of what he was saying. What? That wasn't stupid, that was... You're the biggest scaredy cat ever, aren't you? What are you doing here alone, then? I was gonna lead to a station. Alone? We have to go in pairs, no? Yes, but I was going to search stations we already explored because I stopped myself from talking. Was it really wise to spread my paranoia to the others, and especially Ray, most of all? Well, because of what? Because... Okay, Simon. Now is the time for your confrontation. Because Jasmine and I found something really strange in the security room. It was a recorded tape, and we have cause for thinking some people here are strange and maybe involved with everything happening to us. I decided not to drop his name, out of caution. I see. I'm in, then. Huh? I said I'm in. We can go to a station in a team of 2, right? So I'm in. We won't explore a new one if you're too pansy to do so, but we can search the ones already looked into. I'm also interested in catching whoever put me in here, so I can give them a one-way trip to tasting dirt for the remainder of the universe. Oh. Got any objections? No, of course not. Okay, let's look around together then. What an unlikely pairing, and yet that was what I had to deal with. After another while, the train arrived. Still didn't know where I wanted to go. I could go and search the station the eccentrics left to earlier, the pantry. Yeah, we've basically never been there, I think. Could also search the library Jasmine and Marco explored, but didn't feel like a priority. Even less of a priority was the one I explored with Ray, because we already found everything there. Or did we? There was also that weird station the twins explored, the stars, whatever that meant. I thought that might have been interesting. Brocane Station, garde manger. The train set off towards the first of all of those. Come to think of it, we would have to search 3, maybe 4 stations if we wanted to cover our own, and we were only 2 people. Perhaps it would be best to split up. Yet, I had an uneasy feeling. I didn't trust Ray all too much, so I definitely didn't want to let him go alone to my friend's room. What if he found something? If at least I did, then I could cover for them and keep those doubts about me. The last thing I wanted was for this to degenerate into a witch hunt for Jasmine or Marco, sparked by this man's own dubious thoughts. Yes, clearly the person here who's going on a paranoid rampage is Ray. No matter what, I couldn't let him head to the room my friends explored together. So, made up your mind yet? You look like you're thinking a lot. I'm just wondering how we'll explore 4 stations on our lonesome. Easy. Just leave 2 to me, and you can pick 2 too. But what if one of us finds something really important? Maybe we should go together to one of the stations first. I'm not one to conceal anything I find. Yeah, that was part of the reason why I had yet to expose the note to most of the others. Maybe I was the snake and Ray was a bear. A big old cuddly bear. Yeah, you know what? I'm willing to say it. I'm willing to speak my truth. Ray's fine. Ray's generally a good guy. He makes mistakes. He has some anger issues. You know, a bit impulsive, maybe? But deep down, Ray's a good guy. Train stopped at the pantry. Shit, what was my choice? I didn't even have to make up my mind on who would go there. Ray was on the way out of the train already. He'd apparently decided for me. Hey, wait! Hurry up, the door's gonna close. In the urgency of the situation, I did a very quick inventory of my choices. I could either come out of this station with Ray, or give him another to explore once he was done with this one. If I came out here with him, I could keep an eye on him. It would make our search slower, but I could definitely get him to agree with me if we found something disastrous for the eccentrics. However, if I tricked him, I could have him go to the bedroom once he was done in the pantry to meet him there later and avoid having him explore the library at all. That way, neither Jasmine nor Marco would have to come under suspicion. Was there a third option on all this? If there was, I needed some kind of divine sign to have gone with it, because I didn't really know what else I could have done. It all came down to protecting my friends, but in which way? Okay. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I'm definitely most curious about Pantry and Stars, because they're places we haven't been before. I also kind of want to stick with Ray for the moment. There's things I want to know about Ray, so I'm going to try to stick with him for a bit. Wait up, I'm coming too. I left the train again. The man turned around to stare at me as the train drove off behind me, cutting off my way back out. I wasn't allowed to change my mind anymore. Didn't you say it would be better to split off? Not only are you a big damn coward, but you're also indecisive to boot. I thought it would be better if we go together, even if it takes a little longer. This way, we can make sure we comb the entire place. Besides, you want to clear your suspicions about the others, right? Or confirm them. He left without adding another word. I assumed he was on board with my shoddy plan. Thankfully, he didn't suspect I did all this because I didn't trust him. I think he might be able to sort some of that out. It would be best to keep an eye on him. I called from the station before heading out. Nobody upstairs? No. Get up here already. The others are still at the lounge, if I had to guess. I walked in. Surprised, I watched as the door to the lobby didn't move. Right, this was the station that had already been solved. I expected the door to close. I needed to focus. Walking up the stairs, I arrived in the pantry. Didn't look like what I imagined at all. It was certainly not what I had imagined either. There was a large open area with tons of desks to eat at. The main area had 4 desks with 2 seats each. For all 8 of us. Fitting, considering how we were 8. Of course, we wouldn't be eating at these tables ever. Ever! Well, get on with it. You want to explore this room, so go ahead. And you? Already started. The man was eating some kind of pickle at a table. Right? Right? You eating a pickle is not being super helpful. I hardly consider that exploration, but it meant he wouldn't get in my way until I talked with him at least. Alright, let's explore here. It said, summer cool drink. It wasn't summer yet, though. Could have gone for a cool drink anyway. Didn't care which season it was, honestly. Yeah, there's not a season around where I wouldn't like a nice cool drink. Yet, yes, you can still eat freeze pops and ice cream in winter. Stop judging me. Nobody can stop you. Go for it. Live your life. Could you imagine having a glass this big? You can fill it up with so much stuff, so much fun material. It was around 2/5 my height. Holding it up would need both hands. By the time you'd be done drinking this, you'd have gained a few pounds at least. Maybe it wouldn't be such a good idea, but who knows. Perhaps Mark O'Donnell's would do some stupid jokes about having fries with that. What? Is this a joke about Marco, or is McDonald's literally called Mark O'Donnell's in this world? Since he wasn't here, I substituted myself for him. Okay, so we are making a joke about Marco. Fair enough. I was becoming more and more like that dumbass. Soon enough, I'm gonna go crazy and stab everyone. Nice little shrubbery. Cute. Nice little shrubbery. Good boy. These fridges contained all sorts of food. They were stocked from top to bottom with all varieties I could ever imagine. Unfortunately, they were also in tightly sealed compartments. To get anything out, I had to either be taller to pick them from the top, or do some weird puzzle minigame on the bottom screen. I didn't want to waste time with that. Whatever there was in those compartments wasn't food for sure, and all of it had already been emptied by the eccentrics when they came here. Okay, so this is a puzzle they had to solve then. Still, couldn't shake the feeling there was more than met the eye with these fridges. Maybe not these ones specifically, but did Smiley really expect us to live and eat here? Why was this here? No, there was something else for sure. Was it to make us hungry? Or was it to convince us that we were hungry? These strange futuristic tables and a simplistic model that I really like. I mean, it's hard, other than just the fact that it's got a curved little leg here. I'd hardly call it futuristic. But the chairs looked as though they would flip over and break the moment you lean back. Ray was sitting on one, so it couldn't have been that bad. Part of me was very tempted to tip his seat. Yeah, this seems like a great idea, Simon. Let's make the guy who has anger problems angry. But I felt like if I did that, my travels would abruptly end in darkness. I abstained despite the intense desire to do so. Ray might have been able to know what to do with these consoles, but alone, I couldn't tell. The screens were blank, but pressing buttons seemed to activate a grid-based display. One thing I could understand, though, these open the fridges in the back. I assume that's where Ray got his food. If that was the case, I'd need his help to open anything here. Why is Ray Mr. Computer all of a sudden? I needed some kind of code to open any of the fridges. Even if this room was solved, these things closed back up on their own. I clenched my teeth a little. Does this mean I need to get Ray's help for this? I didn't want him to be the first to find anything. I want to find stuff! If he did, then he'd share it with everyone. Maybe it would cause too much strife. No, I had to do something about it. However, I couldn't hide the fact I needed his help. Could I figure out a way to trick him into getting me the solution without giving away what it was for? Probably. But first, let's look at this box. There was a random little box under the table. Would it be safe to open when Ray was around? I decided to do it after I made sure it would be helpful. After I made sure it would be helpful to do so by examining the more interesting stuff. Okay. Well, we've done that, so let's take a look. Open the box, and inside was a lot of sheets of paper with indications in the shape of a table. They were not real tables, but computerized tables. There were a few columns and rows, and each of the squares seemed to have a code inscribed with them. Wasn't sure what the columns and rows represented. Since this wasn't immediately dangerous, I could share this with Ray. Before I did so, I decided to make sure he wouldn't see whatever I'd find with his help. There was a pen in the box, too. I picked it up and started scribbling onto a page. To open the fridge, one needs to keep their collar against the keyboard. Otherwise, it will lock down again as soon as the collar is removed. I only need to get Ray to use the console with these instructions, and he'd never be able to look around the screen to see me opening the fridge in the back. Seems very unnecessary, but alright. Ray, what do you have there? My drink? No, you have food, too. So what? So... nobody's going to notice a little bit of food missing. Did you ever look around this place? There's enough food for at least 10 years, even if all 8 of us would eat every day. So you want my help? Yes or no? Let me finish this real quick, then I'll be up. The man took his time. A few minutes passed before he was done, at which point he proved he was a man of his word and stood up to meet me. What do you want to check? I looked around with him in tow this time. Okay. Okay, well, let's start over again. Go all the way around with Ray. Hey, look, it's not a drink. What do you mean? It's the representation of a drink. You can't actually drink it. Aren't you putting discart before the horse? God! Ray, this does not seem in your nature. This joke does not seem in your character. No, you're confusing Renee Magritte with Renee Descartes there. One's an artist, the other's a philosopher. I know, really close, but not the same thing. Whatever. The poster's a waste of time, and you know it. Everything was a waste of time anyway. If everything was a waste of time, then nothing really was. Ray just couldn't understand the subtleties about it. Who's a good little boy? Not you. Stop being stupid. You don't need to pet that plant. Aw, come on, give it a shot. Look at how happy the plant is. Such a nice and happy plant. It's fake. He reached out and started petting the plant. Oh, that's not what I thought. I thought he was gonna destroy it. I could have sworn the plant became even happier. Ray was still petting the plant. Good. Excellent. Everything's going according to plan. That's where I got my sandwich. Nailed it. These things are packed with food. That's about it. Moving along now. Hey, I didn't get food. Are you hungry, son? No, but it doesn't change the fact that... Then shut up and bring me somewhere interesting instead. Talk about rude. How did you even sit in one of these chairs? I lowered my ass onto it, and voila, I was sitting. Can't sit sideways or anything. You should know that, even if you're still a little boy. Hey, I'm not little. I'm 24. Yeah, that's like 12. If you want to have your glass of water or your little cardboard juice, there's some in one of the fridges, no doubt. I only drank soda anymore, but maybe more water would be good. Not that I'd give Ray the satisfaction of being right or anything. Alright, well, before we do anything else, let's talk with Ray. What do you want to know? You look like you want to ask me a question. I was just wondering, Ray. You don't really talk to other people much, do you? I don't trust people. I don't trust you, and I don't trust anybody else here. If I did, then I'd play it right into Smiley's hands, because whoever it is, they could abuse that trust. I'm not stupid. I'd rather not give him any leverage over me. Yet you've shared your real name without even thinking about it. You really think Ray is my real name? You're an even stupider boy than I thought. If it wasn't his real name, then he was hiding the fact very well with how he always reacted when we called his name. If it wasn't his real name, then what was it? I asked him. None of your business. Yeah, why would he tell you based on what he just said? At least I'll tell you that Ray is short for Raymond. Is that your name? I'm not going to answer any more questions around my name. Now, do you want my help looking around this place, or do you want me to roll you down the stairs? I took the former option, naturally. Alright, let's take a look at this first. Ray, I found this box earlier. I think the paper inside has some instructions. Opened it up and brought out my quarry from earlier. The little trick I'd inscribed on it was still there. I had to prevent him from looking at the other paper, or else he might realize this was a ruse. Give me that. He glanced at it after snatching it from my hands. With an exasperated sigh, he crumpled the paper by holding it tightly. Hey, we need those instructions. Shouldn't this room be unlocked? Yeah, but there's a fridge still locked for some reason. I can't open it. I bet there's something inside. Fucking hell. Okay, then. You can use the console and... No, I'll open the fridge. I found all of this, after all, so I should be entitled to have a look. Do whatever, then. Whenever you're ready, I can follow these dumb instructions. Perfect. Everything's working out great. Now I needed to bring him to the console. Ray went to the console while I prepared myself. I stood in front of one of the fridges. Okay, now try the combinations one by one until this fridge unlocks. And don't lift your collar or it'll close again. Yeah, I get it. Be ready to open and take whatever's inside out. With Ray at the console doing my bidding, I safely waited for the fridge to unlock. This damn thing isn't clear enough. Which combination works? Try them all, I don't know. It's not that long, is it? This posture is terrible, too. Smiley can go fuck himself. I cast a glance over my shoulder. At least he was taking my addition on the paper seriously, even if it made this take longer. Eventually, he hit the right combination. Okay, the door's unlocked. I'll look inside now. Remember the directives to stay down. Yeah, just get that shit out and we can clear all the issues later. I opened the fridge's door. Inside, it wasn't refrigerated, surprisingly enough. It was a strange black case. I opened that too. Inside was nothing. However, the shape of the foam previously holding the items was unmistakable. Is this where A got his gun that he always has? From there was something square-shaped, something in the shape of a spoon, and the third item... Okay, something square-shaped, something in the shape of a spoon, and the third item was... It's actually two items. 2 guns. I opened my eyes wider at that realization. There had been 2 guns in there. I could tell from the foam. A and E gained guns. For how long had they been concealing that? Suddenly, they jumped to the top of the list of priorities to deal with. In my head, all the usual possibilities mixed into something unsightly. What if E's disabilities had been a lie? A would have told her to conceal them in order to appear saintly. Perhaps the 2 of them had been planning this the whole time. They had guns, after all. They hadn't shared with everyone else. They hadn't left them behind, discarded them, or broken them. They most likely had them on their... I mean, I don't know why A could just take both. Suddenly, my face turned into pure shock. The old man's bag. That was the perfect place to hide something like this. I can't deal with this alone. As much as I disliked it, I had to share it with Ray. Even with that video, what happened in it wasn't an immediate threat like these guns were. Speak up, pup. What do you mean by that? I closed the fridge's door, but kept the case out. Ray took it as a signal he could stand up. I slid the case over to the ground with my foot. It stopped next to Ray. The man examined it, frowning deeply. Guns, huh? Yes. We need to remove them. No, that's dangerous. Best be if we just do nothing. What? How can you... Listen, boy. Are you out of your mind? Bringing your fists to a gunfight will just get you killed. Instead, we should go take a look at the other stations. You sure about that? Yes. In fact, you should put that case back in there, too. Make it look like nothing ever happened, just in case. He leaned back down and typed the code again. I reluctantly agreed and closed the case to shove it back into the fridge. Once all was said and done, we silently left the area. I'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna get something to drink. This has seriously made me thirsty. Whatever you do, don't do something dumb, you daft kid. I waved at him as I moved towards the stairs to the other side. If he wasn't gonna help, I'd go fetch Jasmine or something. We needed to remove those guns no matter what. Wait, would I really involve my friends in this? No, that wasn't a good idea. Perhaps Ray was right. I needed to investigate another station first. The best target would be my next suspicious duo, the twins. Quickly, I ran over to catch the same train as Ray. I ran down the stairs. The train was there, but soon leave if I didn't hurry. On the station, I saw Ray was sitting down, facing away from me. I could slip into another section. He would probably not notice me. I crouched as soon as I entered. So are we trying to hide from Ray here? What is the door's closed behind me. We were off. The man had left at the second station, the library. Didn't care if he explored my friend's room now. I could tell he was genuine in the care he took in telling me that was dangerous earlier. I stepped out of the train when it arrived at the stars. And we will have to see what is going on in this mysterious stars room that we've heard so much about next time. Until then, this has been Downstage Gaming. I have been your host, Josh, and I will catch you all next time.